Hello, this is JB Sissel with ICTV bringing you today's Ask Mike question. Mike, I was in Kenan Stadium the year that ESPN aired the spring game and had a blast. What is your opinion on UNC not having a spring game this year? Mike joins us as usual remotely from Charlotte.
Yeah, that's a very good question, and it's kind of a polarizing question too. I want fans to understand one thing right off the bat, that it's actually not abnormal to not have a spring game. The spectacle that is the spring game that some schools put on, that we actually put on in 2009, but that you see all around the country every year. Alabama does it. LSU's is typically televised. They've always got a team that is going to be coming up in like the Chick-fil-A kickoff game or one of the big early season games. Their spring game is going to be televised. There's going to be a lot of fans there. That's actually a relatively new phenomenon. It's not abnormal to cancel the spring game and treat it as just another day of practice, which is what Coach Fedora has decided to do. And it's also not usually indicative of any bigger problem. So I say that because I don't want the fan base to start thinking or looking too much into this. There's not lines to read between here with regard to canceling the spring game and just using it as a spring practice. What Coach Fedora probably saw was that an extra day of development for some of these younger guys that he knows are going to have to be in a position to contribute pretty heavily this year. He probably saw a need to get one more day of practice as opposed to a scrimmage type situation because he knows he can make up that scrimmage time right there in training camp. We have several of them in camp before the end of training camp every year. He knows that what's one more scrimmage really going to do when I can take an extra day and work on technique, which is the purpose of spring ball in the first place. So I think his decision to use this as an opportunity to get some guys ready and to give them an extra day of practice and actual coaching instead of just rolling them out there in a game situation that they may not be 100% ready for right now. I think that's a solid coaching move, and it's not abnormal. It happens every year all around the country. It's just it is a shock to the system for us because we're all obviously in Chapel Hill. We're very used to the spring game, and that's kind of its own thing. It's kind of the last big hurrah before the summertime lull, where we don't really hear a whole lot about the team until we get a couple weeks before training camp. So that's something we've grown accustomed to having, but we're just not going to have it this year. But I don't want anyone to think that it's strange or it's indicative of some bigger problem or something. It's really not. Don't overthink it because it looks like the coaching staff didn't. So that's my feelings on it. I don't really feel one way or another about it. I hope that the decision to have an extra practice will have a better impact down the road, a more positive impact down the road. And I think it's probably the right call because Coach Fedora knows what he's in the room. He knows what he's got in the room better than we do. So,
Mike, thank you for your time today and your take on the UNC spring game, or rather the lack of a spring game this year with the UNC football program. For Mike Ingersoll, I'm JB Sissel. Thank you for watching ICTV.